Joining us now is Democratic Congressman James Walkinshaw of Virginia. He serves on the House Oversight Committee. Congressman, great to have you here. I'm wondering, what stands out to you about the information included in this latest release so far?
Well, I think it's more of what we've seen over the last several months, which is every time we get new information, the relationships and the connections between Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump appear deeper and deeper. And I think the flight records reveal that, the potential photograph of Trump and Maxwell on Steve Bannon's phone potentially reveal that. So we need to learn a lot more, but I think what we're seeing is a deeper and longer relationship between Trump and Epstein than Trump has admitted previously.
The president was asked about the release of these files yesterday. Here's more of what he had to say.
What this whole thing is with Epstein is a way of trying to deflect from the tremendous success that the Republican Party has. They're asking me questions about Jeffrey Epstein. I thought that was finished. I believe they gave over 100,000 pages of documents, and there is tremendous backlash. A lot of people are very angry that pictures are being released of other people that really had nothing to do with Epstein, but they're in a picture with him because he was at a party, and you ruin the reputation of somebody.
Congressman, what do you say to that?
Well, I think it's revealing for Donald Trump and this White House. In their minds, the victims here seemingly are the bankers and lawyers, as he described them, who were friends with Epstein and involved in Epstein's activities. The victims here are the girls and women who were raped and abused by Jeffrey Epstein. And President Trump doesn't seem to want to acknowledge that. The courageous survivors who have been fighting and fighting and fighting for transparency and accountability, they're the ones who are victimized, not people who are in photos with Jeffrey Epstein.
And we've heard frustration from them on how all this has unfolded. The law said that all the files were supposed to be released by December 19th. Last Friday, your colleagues in the House, Democrat Ro Khanna and Republican Thomas Massie, who co-authored the bill to release the files, say they're now considering contempt proceedings against Attorney General Pam Bondi, which could amount to fines here. What do you think? Is that the best option for accountability?
Well, look, the best option here is for the Department of Justice to come into compliance with the law, release the full files with only the redactions that the law allows to protect the victims and the survivors. That's the best option. If that doesn't happen between now and when Congress returns in January, I think you will see Democrats looking to force a vote for inherent contempt on the floor. And that's what's called a privilege motion in the House, which means that Speaker Johnson won't be able to block it. So every member of Congress will have to go on the record. Do they want to continue to support this cover-up, or do they want to stand with the survivors who are calling for the full release of the files?
And once we saw that forced vote on the discharge petition last go around, only one member of Congress voted against it. As you said at the top there, the heart of all of this is really about the victims, the survivors who continue to be dragged through this entire process. Yesterday, more than a dozen survivors sent a letter to Congress writing in part, "It is alarming that the United States Department of Justice, the very agency tasked with upholding the law, has violated the law, both by withholding massive quantities of documents and by failing to redact survivor identities. We call upon Congress to stand up for the rule of law. We urge immediate congressional oversight, including hearings, formal demands for compliance, and legal action to ensure the Department of Justice fulfills its legal obligations." What's your message to them?
Well, my message to them is that certainly and I know Democrats in Congress on the Oversight Committee and the courageous Republicans who have joined with us are going to continue to fight with every tool we have to get complete transparency and complete accountability. And what is astounding here is these women have endured decades of their government failing them. Go back to 1996 with Maria Farmer, who tried to alert the FBI of Epstein's crimes, and she was ignored. They've been ignored, silence, and that has to come to an end.
Congressman James Walkinshaw, thank you so much. We appreciate your time. Happy holidays.